time for me to come back after the weekend. I need a small break, but now, while Bitcoin is dropping, I will show you why many people out there are absolutely wrong what's going on with Bitcoin and where I believe we are going to stop. Let's go. The current market is not designed for first bull cycle traders. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. Take emotions out of the equation and set and forget objectively your trades without being glued to the screen with free commas. Stop wasting your precious time all day in front of the screen and let free commas take over while you enjoy the bright side of life. Free commas is the best trading automation tool out there and a real off-screen time saver. Their smart trading terminal not only allows you to maximize profits, but also to minimize your risk. It was never that easy. But don't take my word for granted. Look at all the customer success stories. What are you waiting for? Sign up today and save 20% of a monthly plan by using my link below. Guys, sorry, a little bit advertising, you know how it is sometimes, you know. Even I need to make from somewhere a little bit more money, you know, to keep going here. So, but now we are at the charts, guys. We're at the charts. Let's go. One of the reasons why Bitcoin is dropping currently, before I'm going to tell you why I think that this is what I see on social media across the board is just nonsense. And one of the reasons is that the dollar is going up today. That has multiple reasons. It has to do with the energy prices in the US. It has to do with a lot of financial, economical conferences coming up this week. We have also FOMC this week. Don't forget that on Thursday. Wait, 5 days from now. I think it's on Friday. I think Friday is FOMC, if I'm not mistaken. It's on Wednesday or on Friday. Need to look at the calendar again. I confuse these things. So these things are right now creating a certain fear in the market and spooking people. So, but all these doom and gloom people that are calling for the Bitcoin run is over, you know, so that's it. Bull market is gone, come back in 4 years. This is all nonsense. And I want to show you why the Bitcoin top is actually not in right now. So, and the first major indicator for me is here, the market value to realized value ratio. So, and that means the more people are taking profit, the higher that ratio goes. And at some point when it's getting pretty high, then basically everybody takes profit and gets out of the market. So here the orange line is that ratio. So, and that ratio is currently sitting here at 2.3 more or less, and 2.3 is not a cycle top, guys. I want to show you here over here when we had here a cycle top. Let's go over here where we had here where was that from 2021. So here you see the Bitcoin price here was $60,000. Where was the MRRV? The MRRV was here at almost 3. And before, we got another top here at 3.77. So usually when we somewhere between 3.2 and 4 on the MVRV, that is where we going to hit a cycle top. That is where the market is overall turning around, and everything else is just a major correction, which is also nothing new to us that are more than one cycle already in crypto. So is this correction right now painful? Yes, it is, because it is the first major correction that we have in this bull run. But there is still more to come for us. And another reason for that is the Bitcoin spot ETF total inflow. So when you look at this, since 1 year now, almost exactly 1 year, these inflows, they are just getting crazier and crazier by every single quarter. So right now, the ETFs have accumulated $360 billion worth of value stored in Bitcoin in their ETFs. So, and for this year, all the forecasters are expecting that this year will be even more coming into the ETFs than the last year. So what does that mean? That means we will see the real supply shock that everybody is talking about for years already, when we said, hey, when the moment is coming and the institutions getting into the market, that exactly at that point we are going to experience that supply shock. This supply shock is just around the corner, guys. So January in general, the first half of January is usually bearish in a bull cycle. We know that. So we only need to wait for the second half that is basically starting by late this week, early next week. That is the moment where we should turn around. It could coincide with Trump getting inaugurated, but I personally believe it will happen a little bit earlier. I'll show you here in a moment also why. But let's continue here with the reasons why I believe that we are not done with this cycle yet. So when I go here to the next chart, so here you see also even better the ETF flows, how this is steadily just growing overall. And then another reason is that here on the stock to flow model, we tap out here at the cycle top when we run here into these cooling off phases, as we did in the last cycle and also here in the previous cycle. So right now we are running hot, and you see here is still that leg missing that we had over here, where we are starting to top out. It's not here yet. So it will, in my opinion, will be somewhere between $220,000 and $300,000, and it could only happen, so potentially it's going to happen as late as early next year. So that is like the last moment where I would expect that. So it could happen. Of course, right now I anticipate it earlier, but this is like the latest, absolutely latest moment where I'm going to see this. But here by the stock to flow model, which is pretty accurate, you see that also here there is that final leg moving to the upside, where we are cooling off on a stock to flow model and turning around back into a bear market, and then rinse and repeat this whole cycle. And also here on the bottom, you can see the MOFDEL variance is usually red when we are topping out. This is not the case right now. We are here at the bottom, so we need to turn around, come up again, run hot here on this, and only then somewhere here closer to the end of the year we are actually going to see that the cycle is over. Another point that I want to make here for that we are not going below $80,000 before I go straight into the Bitcoin charts is when I look here at the order books, and this is the overall order book across all exchanges. So that is a accumulation of all the order depth in the market right now. So, and when you look at this here, I have seen it earlier that the order book here, the highest concentration where huge orders getting triggered was around 86,000 actually. So it was a little bit lower here. Yeah, so it was here at 86. Now it's at 88,789-ish, so to speak. So why did they move their orders up? Because it was a huge amount of orders. There was a difference of like, I think 200 Bitcoins worth that moved now their orders up to buy at a slightly higher price than where they originally had their orders placed. So the reason for this is that the market is not expecting that we are going actually that low. So right now, you see here the highest concentration of orders on that conversion point here is $87,000. Do I right now think that we could go to 87,000? There is right now, of course, a higher probability than it was last week that we are going to get there, but I still believe $87,000 is a little bit too far out for me. So I'm going to show it to you here on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, you can actually see here the lowest point that I'm expecting, and that would be just a tap here on the extended Fibonacci extension level here at the 1.618 at around $89,000, and from there I would expect a bounce back to the upside, and then we continue over the following weeks to the upside. Also here on the stochastic RSI, there is a maximum of another week of downside left, including this week, so that means this week and next week, and then you're gonna see the stochastic turning around again. But from what I see right now on the charts, it might be happening already this week, where you see this here happening. Next week, you have then another buy signal, and then the market just keeps going into higher levels. So I know that a lot of people calling now for, oh, there is this head and shoulders pattern on the 12-hourly and on the daily chart. This has to play out. It has to play out. You know, so right now we broke the neckline. It's going down. You know, it's going down to $78,000. So the reason why I don't believe that is really simple. The order book that I have just shown you guys. You know, so the order book and the golden ratios, which are usually quite accurate. We can actually draw this in here from here. So you see here also that is this whole order block here. That is right now the biggest support for Bitcoin to turn around. So we can technically turn around from here because we have not broken this low over here yet. But if we take that low today out, then most likely we go all the way down to tap $89,000. And from there, you're going to see then the turnaround back to the upside. We have a lot of bullish divergences also already on the chart. On the lower time frames for a short-term bounce. Here we tried now multiple times over the last 3 days to break above the EMA ribbon. Once again, every time when we tested it, we got rejected. So if you were looking for a short, that was your opportunity to short. Actually, I was personally thinking today with a really, really small position to take a short. And when we were still at $94,000 something, and then I was like, nah, it's fine. You know, I don't want to short in a bull market. I stick to my conviction that I'm not shorting in a bull market. Could I have made good money on that short? Yes, I could have. But again, the risk to reward ratio on a short in a bull market, is it not worth to me to start shorting in a bull market? I just don't want to do it, you know, so because I will explain again, the downside on a short, so that means that the short is going insanely down, is limited. The upside is not limited, so that puts the trade at a massive, massive risk if I'm not scalp trading, that I get liquidated. So, and I don't want to get liquidated in a bull run, and because I want to make money during the bull run and not be sidelined. So I rather go in the directional move of the market, which is to the upside, regardless of these corrections that we are seeing right now in the market. So let's also have a look here how big that correction so far actually is from the top. No, I wanted this here. So from the top to the current price, we have a 16.4% correction. In a bull market, this is still considered to be a mild correction. So even if we would reach, for some crazy reason, we would come all the way down here to, let's say, 78, where the technical target is of the inverse head and shoulders, the head and shoulders pattern. A 28% correction is normal in a bull run. Again, I don't expect this to be happening. I expect that we bounce in the worst case here in this order block over here. But if that block would not be holding, then yes, then it will open up the potential level here of $78,000 to be actually tapped. And it would be, again, not something crazy compared to other bull runs to see something like this. So here on the VPVR, we don't need to speak about this. The point of control is at $97,450. That's right now the most important level that Bitcoin needs to reclaim if we come here back up. And of course, currently, the level here on the 12-hourly chart here at $90,500, that needs to hold. So if we break below that, get ready that we are going into that order block here. If that order block is not holding, then we go way, way, way lower. So, but for the moment, that's not what I'm seeing here. So one reason for that is on the MDX algo scalp gradients. So we have now here again a bluish phase, but you see here, compare this color here. You see here this turquoise-ish is showing up here in this candle. And when we get turquoise-ish, greenish, that's usually a sign that we are really close to a turnaround. Also here on the order block indicator, you see here's massive, massive support in that golden ratio level here on the shorter time frames. And also here on the reactor indicator, we are getting again a greenish phase that just started. So most likely over the next 8 hours, you're going to see here turnaround. And in the next 24 hours, you are experiencing the first major bounce here in Bitcoin. But I want to warn you guys, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin cannot go lower in that time. So we could break here below the golden ratio, go to the 0.5, even to the 0.382 at $89,000, and then start to turn around by reclaiming the golden ratio, putting somewhat of a W here on the 4-hourly chart in it, and then you see here a move in direction of $95,000 again. On ZoomX, I also lowered here my limit orders for Bitcoin just in case that we go lower, because I don't want to get liquidated on that trade. So I have here enough. I have enough money in these limit orders to average my price so much down that it will be actually under $78,000, and I have still money on the sideline that I can add to it if I really need to be more comfortable in this position. I'm not going to lose this position, and that's why I will keep adding to it if I have to. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade on ZoomX, there is a link in the description for that. Non-KYC, especially amazing if you're in a country where you cannot use Bybit or don't want to complete any KYC, use ZoomX to trade over there. Then on the liquidation levels, now we are eating in the low leverage liquidity. And usually when we start eating in low leverage liquidity, that is also the moment where you're going to get a bounce. So how low can we eat into this liquidity? The same thing, all the way down to potentially $88,500, I would say, here on the liquidation levels before we get a bounce. But here, this might be a bottoming candle. It might be a bottoming candle. If it stays like that, and when the next candle is pushing back to the upside, then we have the confirmation that we most likely go then straight for that high leverage short liquidity that's sitting between $95,800 and $97,400 approximately. So here's something else that I want to point out, guys. Look here, I told you this last week that at some point these shorts that were sitting here in that area will start closing their positions. And that is for me another sign that we are really, really close to a turning point, because they don't want to get wrecked on their short positions. And they're like, hey, we took here a 17% move on 50x, 100x. So they made their 9 to 17x on this trade, so 17 times the money that they have put in. So they're like, it's enough. It's enough. We close these positions. So this is usually also a moment when you see here most of that high leverage liquidity disappearing. That was before sitting here in these high levels, that we are close to a bottom, because when high leveraged trades are getting closed on either side, you usually get at some point a squeeze back to the upside, and that is also fueled by positions that getting forced to get close to positions. So of course the positions up here did not get forced to close them; they closed them voluntarily because they wanted to take profit. But when we turn around, you're going to see it, that these positions here most likely will get squeezed here into higher levels. Also on the liquidation heat map, you see here below us, I think we just tapped into this here. I have to refresh that on the monthly chart. Yeah, you see we just tapped here or into the liquidity that has built up over the last 30 days here. That was the highest concentrated area here at $90,900, $91,000. So also that opens up the possibility for a bigger bounce here in the next 24 hours. First stop here, you see again confluence at $96,500, and from there it would be all the way up here to $103,000. But the big short squeeze, is expected once we're tapping here above $92,400, $600. That's where I expect the first major move here in Bitcoin. That could squeeze us back to $94,000, $95,000. Once we tap here into $96,500, we stall a little bit before we then get continuation here through the direction to $100,000 here once again. So here on the shorter time frames, you see the RSI is here already flatlining at the bottom, almost at the bottom. There, it cannot go much lower. So we are definitely oversold here right now in this 1 hourly candle. The next 1 hourly candle might give us already a little bit of direction where we are going. So we need to wait for that. But you see here, all the indicators are oversold currently. We are getting a doji candle which shows indecision. That means buyers are stepping in while sellers still try to push the price lower. And that current trading range that we are in, so I should have actually drawn here another line, or started from there drawing and not just take the lines that I had here, but it's fine. So this is the current trading range, and here you see $93,500 is the mid-range that we need to overcome to get continuation here into $96,500 that I just mentioned. So I expect some volatility and consolidation around this level here when we come back up there. So, but the most important candle that you need to watch right now is here on the 1 hourly chart, how this is going to turn out. If the candle stays as it is and the next candle is pushing it back to the upside, that will be the first sign of a bigger relief that's coming here, in my opinion. So let me see here on the 4 hourly chart also how there the RSI is looking. Yeah, also here, early signs of a turnaround on stochastic RSI. The RSI also looks like that the RSI had enough. So most likely we are putting in soon here a bullish divergence where we have here overall price printing lower lows while the RSI starts climbing. And then you have your confirmation that we are putting in a bullish divergence, which will then lead to a pushback to the upside in the Bitcoin price. So now on the 1 hourly chart, we're also forming here this broadening descending wedge that has now broken to the downside already, but I can still adjust it a little bit. I can still adjust just a little bit here. Yes, so like this, we are just sitting here on the downward sloping support line. So if we would close here 1 hourly candle below that and keep going lower, then of course this is invalidated. But in the meantime, the technical target for this, if it comes back to the upside all the way here to roughly $96,000, then here the technical target for a breakout would be around the $100,000 mark. But of course, first we need to get some key levels back here, like the $93,700 level, and then $96,000, and so on and so on. Also here on Bybit, I'm again locked out, but on Bybit also my trade is still running. I keep adding to this trade. Let me see here if I can show it to you guys on my phone really quick. So I'm not going to hide that this trade is running in a massive loss right now, roughly $9,300 in a loss. Let me actually switch here screens that you can see it better. So here, you guys, not hiding it, $9,100 in 9,000 roughly now. Yeah, below. You see we're bouncing a little bit, so I'm under $9,000 now in a loss. My liquidation price, don't know if you can see that here, $83,000. So again, if we would go down to these levels to $83,000, I just keep adding more to this position. You know, so I consider myself one of the transparent influencers. I also show you my losses, not only the positions when I'm winning, you know, so because usually the losses, the unrealized losses that I have on my positions usually turn into massive wins later on. So, and this is the whole point of trading, guys, you know, so, that you are able to turn this around. If you see that you cannot turn it around anymore, you then need to cut the trades. But this is not right now happening here, at least for me on these positions just yet. Of course, when we look here at the dominance, we see that the dominance is coming back up here, but overall the dominance is still, if we would go back down from here, creating a lower high compared to this high here. So we need to almost go here to 60% to invalidate this lower high here and the overall trajectory to the downside for the dominance. So even that small move here back to the upside is for me not concerning for the altcoins. When we look at the total free market cap here, a little bit more concerning that we actually broke here below that support block that we had here. But again, the daily candle has roughly 12 hours left to at least push back into this block here all the way to $945 billion and the total free market cap. So that is what I want to see, that by tomorrow, maximum tomorrow, that we get a candle back into that block here and close within that block or even above the block. So above the block is something that I would not bet on right now, but within the block would be nice. It doesn't matter if it's just scratching here to come back in, or if we get it here somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter for me. I just want to get a close within that block here with tomorrow's candle, preferably, of course, by today, if we could retrace half of that move here. Then Ethereum going here for the 0.382 level currently. Also here, it looks like that this might be a bottoming candle. You could have seen this a little bit coming over the last couple of days with here a bearish pennant or bear flag. So here, that's your bear flag. So, and here the target would be actually way lower. The target would go all the way down to around $2,700. Let it be $2,800 would be the target here for that bear flag pattern. So it also broke out at the right moment. Would I right now open here a short to try to trade this all the way down to $2,800? No. So if you missed here that breakdown to the downside, I would not try to short this right now into lower levels, because we have here again confluence levels of support at the 0.382 level on the Fibonacci extension levels that are currently holding, and we are currently bouncing from there. So I would currently definitely not open here any other short. So if you see that we are closing a 4-hourly candle below the 0.382, then I would maybe take a small short position or start hedging along that I would open at the same level. That's what I would be doing. So Solana is now here in that green box that I mentioned. So that there was a chance that we come down here. So, but also here on Solana, you see on the 12-hourly chart, looks like that we are starting to turn around here slightly. The indicators looking not as bearish as many other coins right now. So, but if we are not able to push here also in the next 12 hours until the daily close back above $180, we might come all the way down here to like $170, $164. I just want to prepare you for that. I told you here was an imbalance, so that imbalance goes all the way down to $170. Usually when prices come down into these imbalance candles, they overshoot. So the same goes to the upside, so if that candle would be here on this side, like this one here, on the way back up, we overshoot these imbalance candles, so that means we go higher than we should. That here would be the stopping point, and in crypto we usually go higher than that. So the same works to the downside right now. So instead of just going to 170, most likely what's going to happen is we come here all the way down to that support level of 165, and there we start turning around and starting then to move back up to close these imbalances that we created on the way down. So here's an imbalance also here all the way up at $212 that needs to be closed at some point. Now, I want to, guys, first of all, thank you so much. There's 640 people right now watching live. Thank you so much. I think I never had so many people on a live stream. It would be amazing if you can not only subscribe, but also smash up the like button, destroy the like button, guys. I would highly appreciate that. Really amazing for the first video after 2 days that I come back, that you are putting a smile on my face, even though the market is going down. So now I'm going to have a look here at the chat. Let me see here. I'm gonna do 2 free coins, guys. So post here some coins in the chat. Again, 1 coin per person. Don't spam your coin. If you spam your coin, then forget about it. I'm gonna look at something else. So let me have a look here in the chat, guys. I actually gonna do XRP because XRP was moving yesterday, I think. Do I still have an XRP chart here somewhere? So, XRP chart. Let me see. Oh, and something that I don't want to forget, guys, because now I remember again. Don't forget, if you have not yet a Bybit account, guys, really important. If you don't have a Bybit account just yet, then sign up right now on Bybit. And this week I'm gonna fund potentially 5 to 10 accounts, each with $500 out of my own pocket, guys. The only thing that you need to do, if you don't have a Bybit account already, sign up right now, because I count everybody from last Friday. From last Friday onwards, until this Friday, potentially, or Sunday. I did not decide this yet. Everybody that signs up in that time is a potential winner that I'm gonna draw by early next week to get his Bybit account funded, especially important when we have prices down like this and getting them at such a big discount. You know, look here at XRP right now at $2.36 on the daily chart. So actually XRP here on the daily chart, I must say, is not looking that bad. You know, so this is just a massive, massive pennant that XRP is trading in. Yeah, look at this. So once this pennant is breaking out, or that symmetrical triangle, it's going to fly. You know, so I give you the conservative target. The conservative target would be this here. Breakout should happen somewhere here. So that is a $1 move. So that is almost a 40% move here to the upside. Yeah, here 37% move to the upside once this pattern is broken and is breaking out. So the breakout window again is somewhere here. So you need to wait a couple, 2-3 weeks. Yeah, so you need to wait 2.5 weeks. You know, within the next 2.5 weeks, we should break here to the upside for XRP. So, but in the meantime, it can come all the way down to $2.11. So what I would do is, if I would be not having an XRP position already, which I have, so I would look out for, let me see here. Is this? Yes. No. Yes. So I would no, I want something else. So yeah, background, that's what I wanted. This. I would look out for, if we come down, to buy in that green zone here, if I get it. You know, so if the price comes down here to like $2.17, $2.07-ish, that would be a nice area to buy. And my stop loss, I would set here at $1.90. So you cannot trade this with insane leverage. You know, you can trade this with 2-3x leverage, not more in this current state of the market. I would not use any more leverage than that. That's where I would open a position here and then wait for that breakout to be happening and trade this into the target. So let me have a look here at the chat again. Wow. So let's have a look here. What do I see a lot? It's the same guy, or did he post one time? Just want to make sure. No. Okay. So let's have a look at AVAX. Okay, yeah. See, 3 people were asking for it. AVAX I have over here. So here we are hitting right now a buy order block. That order block is holding as support on the daily chart, so which is bullish. But overall, you have also here this downward sloping trend line that needs to be broken for continuation. We have broken here this upward sloping support right now. So that starts to look more like a falling wedge to me for AVAX. So here, there you go. So you can adjust this here a little bit. There. That is your falling wedge pattern. And that can also, most likely, what's going to happen is that we'll start to consolidate here, and then you get at some point that breakout in early February. So it looks right now that, I will tell you honestly what I believe happened here. I think that is that whole downwards movement right now in the market is artificial, even though it's not, surprisingly, in terms of the time where it's going, where it's happening. You know, it looks like that it was specifically timed in a window where stuff like this usually occurs, because you see here across the market that coins are lining up on higher time frames to start running by late January, early February, because there is your breakout window between first week of February and somewhere at the last week of January. And we checked now 2 coins already where this is the case. I'm gonna look now at render. I think I have a render chart somewhere. Yes. So, and I think it's here more or less the same thing. So look at this here. Daily chart, yes. So also here you can argue here is somewhat of a falling wedge. Where's the breakout point? Again, end of January into end of first week of February. So if I draw here a line, somewhere here is your breakout window. A day before that, there you go. So there's your breakout window. So now we are tapping here the 0.5, 0.65, 0.618 on the golden ratio for render that's currently holding. And these are levels where I would start buying a little bit, you know, not a lot, but I would start buying a little bit if I would like to open new positions. These are levels where I would start to get in with like 10% of the full amount that I want to deploy into a position like that. But again, not more than like 2 to 3x right now because of the volatility that we are seeing here in the market. So let me see here. The next one, I see a lot of people asking for Cardano. Let me have a look here at Cardano. I think I have Cardano here somewhere. AVAX. I had Cardano here. Here. There's Cardano. So also here, downward sloping trend line still there. Here a falling wedge pattern that will break out later. So actually I need to go all the way up here. So this might take until mid-end February before you're gonna get here a bigger breakout. But also currently here at this buy order block getting supported from here slightly, not massively. So here I see potentially another move a little bit lower of like 4-5% for Cardano, and then it might start consolidate, turn around, go back to the upside here above $1. Let me see here. I'm gonna do one more coin here really quick. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna do Sui. So because I still have a position in Sui running right now. So here we are bouncing. You know, so here that looks like a bounce to me on the 4-hourly chart, on the daily chart. Let's see how it looks here. Could go a little bit lower than that. Could go a little bit lower, but not much. So here also maximum point where it's going to turn around might be here the golden ratio at $4.10, $4.05, something like that. That is the worst, the lowest that I see for Sui before this starts to turn around here. But I will not ignore that there's also here an M pattern, a McDonald's pattern. So here was the neckline of that. So if I take it here all the way up here, so that would technically put Sui all the way down to $3.47. So, but I don't believe that we go all the way down here because we have here some buy clusters where we are currently bouncing from. If they are holding, then expect a move back to like $4.70 by tomorrow, most likely. So I'm just gonna go do Tau because of that super chat here. Let me see where is a chart that I can use for that. So Tau. Yeah, Tau also here on the daily chart. Downward sloping resistance line. You want that this line gets broken. So if you want a really super safe entry, you need to wait for this line to be broken. That will be a really, really safe entry for you. And before that, before that, if it comes lower, let me put it this way. If Tau comes a little bit lower, this is the block where you want to buy. At least for spot. So for spot, this is the area where you want to buy. We were touching this, bouncing a little bit from there. So here you can start nibbling for your spot positions and then all the way down to like $364. For leverage position, again, if you want to trade this here into that downward sloping resistance, use low leverage, guys, super low leverage. You know, make sure that if the price falls through that you can sustain here a 40% move to the downside. And that's something that you can only do on 2x leverage, you know. So on the way back up, you can scale it then, you know. So if we would actually come that low, which I'm definitely not seeing, but even if it comes down here to like $317, only on 2x, 3x leverage, you can sustain a move like that, you know, before we bounce from that support level. Guys, I have to run. I have some calls that I have in a moment. I need to eat something. So thank you so much for tuning in here. Amazing, amazing stream. Thank you so much for that. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you gave me a shit ton of motivation to come back tomorrow.